Hello everybody, my name is Craig Bennett, and today we are going to get into a video on Fusion 360. This will show you some of the basics on Fusion 360, and that way you can get running on this. Now real quick, I did a poll on the channel asking if people are interested into 3D prints, and a few people said yes, so I figured why not. Now in my previous video I showed you how to use a caliper and also some buying tips on it, and that way you can transfer your data to a program like this properly, and so on. So feel free to check out that if you don't know how to use one, or if you don't have one and you want to buy one. And I'll have a link down there on one I use, and if you buy that, it gives me a kickback. Now as far as this goes, going into here, we're going to be making a CD case, something very simple, but with that one in mind, we have two components. So what we need to do is go ahead and create the components, the two components. We can list them, but a big thing to note here is this uses a parent-child relationship, so we can see the origin if we select that, but if the parent goes away, then the child goes away. Same thing with anything above, so note that. And you can add components within components, so also note that. Now as far as this goes, we need to set the units. If you want to change something else, I'm just going to use millimeters. And as far as movement, to move around on the screen, to move like that, hold down the scroll wheel. To move like this, orbit, hold down shift in the scroll wheel, and you can lift up the shift after you start moving in orbit. And as long as you got the shift, the scroll wheel down, it will keep doing this. So as far as this goes, making a 3D model. So real quick, to make a 3D model, to do this you have to use a plane, so XYZ, or you need to have a face, so a 3D model, and they call the stuff face. So as far as that goes, what we're going to do is we're going to go here and create a sketch, and it's going to line us up properly. Press C, and what we're going to do is go ahead and we're going to create a, so I'm going to say 133, and then press OK with that. And what we're going to do is press, but we can actually make a narrow one. In fact, let's do that right now, so we can get that out of the way. And so I'm just going to do like 3 millimeters. I've had problems having it all the way up to like 1 millimeter, which is this. So let's do 130. So as far as that goes, what we're going to do is press Q, and since these are like that, what we can do is either go up or down. In this case we're going to go down because I kind of messed up to go the other way, but what we're going to do is we're going to go down, and what this will do is just create the lid and whatever, so I don't have to come back here and do all this other stuff and do whatever, but yeah. In fact, let me show you how to do both that. Press Q to go back here. Let's just go up both of them so we can create a solid piece, and I can show you how to knock it off. So what we do is figure out how high. So it says 40, let's say 43. And then let's go and click that, and then let's go it's not going on right. So we're going to make another drawing, which is easy enough. In fact, I can show you something pretty neat. So big thing to note is try to get center as possible, but you see right here where that line is, this tells you that you're about center. If you follow that, and then you see this dot, that means that you're on the center. So I'm just going to say 130, and what we're going to do is press Q, lower that, and let's just say that for the heck of it. So now we got a lid. We can do a few other things, like say for example I can actually make a little dimple right here and all the other stuff, but I'm not really worried about that. Again, this is just for demonstration purposes only. The meat of this is really going to be in the tray itself. So if we flip to the tray, you can see where it ghosts right there, and if you want to just hide that, you can do that. So let's pull up the origin here, and what we can do is an error. We can create a drawing, press C, and give me a second and I'll measure this. It's 135, let's just say 136. Then it needs to go up by 15. This one's a little bit more complicated. That's the reason why I picked it. So let's go to Q, select that, type in 15. Then what I need to do is create a new sketch, find the middle, right there it is. So what we're looking at is about 126. This needs to go down. To 9. Oops. Select that again. Minus 9. So recess is minus is recess, and then we got another and it's the center. It's only 14, so I'm going to say 15. So let's create a Q, and this one needs to go up by, in fact I can use another tool which sees how deep it is, and what that's going to be is 41. In fact, I might want to drive that up a little bit more. Let's go 43. And as far as this goes, there's a little hole at the bottom. Somewhere over here. Be a bit difficult to find it. I don't know, I ain't worried about that. Is that it? So right there, let's go to 13 and Q, go down a little bit. So negative, what was it, 43, so we're going to do 40. So it has a hollow space right there. So we got the basics of the CD tray right here. And let's say, for example, I want to make some screw holes. So how would I do that? How would I know what size screw holes I need to make? What I can do is go to insert, go to that, and this has a list of a bunch of tools, screws, bolts, and whatever. And you can actually go into here and say we're going to do screws, and I want to do self-tapping if possible, if they have it. And you can go to the site, by the way. This is an actual shop. They got 3D prints on it. But let's just do this just for kicks. Screw nails. I know it's not a proper one, but give it a second or two. If it's going to come up. Let's just try something else then. So alright, so pull up whatever. It doesn't matter the metal type because again it's 3D print, but select whatever you want. So note the size and whatever. So let's go with 1 inch. Go click that, go to product details, and then scroll all the way down. Make sure that this is on SAT. Go to save and give it a second or two. And there's your screw. So it's an exact match. And now you can see if a hole is big enough or not. So there you go. And if you want to, like if you're making a 3D model of something and you want to do whatever, by the way, if you want to make a copy of it, so say for example we want to make copies of that, capture position, go and move and copy, select the body, go to create copy, and then you can move it around and do whatever. If you don't capture position, it's going to line back up to there. It's going to be weird. It's very, very hard to deal with. So it's best to capture position and all the other stuff, and that way you don't run into any real problems. So, and then we can press OK, and I guess it was too far down or something like that. But in your case, there you go. And if we want to make those parts one, so say for example we're doing a 3D model, and yeah, we're not using screws or whatever, but it's making it look like they're screws. So what we'll do is modify, combine, and we're going to select that, select the body itself, and then just okay. And what's happening is it will join up. So what should happen is if I go to move, if I select one or the other, like if I select that, now it selects the entire body because it's combined as one singular piece. So you can do things like that. Now, if I wanted to see if I got the tray right, what I can do is go and open this back up, and let's go ahead and switch it back to here. Go to move, and let's flip. Do a 180, just pull this up a little bit. So right there. Good to go on that. And you can see that we actually got it pretty good. Probably could lower down the outer rim a little bit, but for the most part we got it good. Now it's a big thing to note, if you want to create some additional things like rectangles or whatever, you can do it here. There's also other places that you can search for this stuff, and you can create the models, the models that you can basically make, like say for example that rover that I was working on, this part, it was in that. You can do a whole bunch of things into here, and you can also make it where you can show a animation happening. So if you wanted some screws go in there and tell the engineers that this is what needs to go in there, then you can actually do animations and all the other stuff. This is a little bit advanced, and really for 3D printing, I doubt you'll really care about animations and stuff like that. But the model and stuff like that, that's a little bit too advanced for me to talk about in this particular video, but I might in a later video if people are interested. But anyways, hopefully this has helped you out and get an understanding into this, and that way you know how to not only how to make basic things like this, but you can actually know, okay, this is the proper screw hole size for this. So if I got a bunch of these type of screws, I know I need to make the screw hole this big in order for this to work, so I don't have to, cut any plastic or whatever. So as far as that goes, hopefully that's helped you out. Leave a like, subscribe, share, and hope you have a great day.